Lorenzo, as someone that's following specifically technology, I mean, have you seen that to be the case, that what's happening is we're getting decent earnings from the companies? Look at HP, look at Dell's report today, but it's hard to sense any conviction on the part of investors.
Well, I definitely agree with that view. The second quarter earnings were very, very good. 73% of the companies beat expectations. That is a very big number, but we already forgot about that. And the market has been pricing in a global deceleration over the last 3 to 4 months, whether it's in Europe as the sovereign debt crisis reared its head, then in the United States, and now in China, as it's very evident that there is a slowdown there from very high, unsustainable growth. So the market has been fearing this deceleration, and it's looking for it, and we're getting a lot of statistics on the macroeconomic level that is saying that there is softness. But remember, this is August. I mean, August is very weak. And this is we have the summer doldrums. We have
reduced volume.
Exactly, reduced volume. There's a lot of things. There's plenty to worry about. But I think that from our perspective, a lot of it has been priced in. We've been in a range all year. I mean, the broad indices are roughly down a little bit year to date. We still think that from all the companies that we talk to, that they are still seeing good growth, particularly in the technology sector. And
well, you had the deal today, for example, right? Intel announcing they're going to pay $7.7 billion in cash for McAfee. I mean, does that give you even more confidence to be bullish on technology stocks?
Well, it does, and on a different day like today, without the announcements that we've had, as was pointed out earlier, the market would have been up on that news. So Intel is making this acquisition on the software side to eventually put additional security right into their microprocessors 2 or 3 years out. So that is good, and we're going to see more and more M&A activity. In fact, M&A activity has been positive on a comparison year to date, year over year, since the first quarter of this year. So we're seeing a lot of that, and that's being triggered for a number of reasons. One, growth is hard to come by. So companies that are flush with cash, it's about $1.8 trillion in cash in U.S. companies, about $850 billion in the S&P 500. So there's plenty of cash. Banks have $1 trillion, over $1 trillion in reserves. So there's a lot of cash out there. But there is a fear of the unknown. What is the demand going to be? The consumer has been under tremendous pressure, and if we continue to have unemployment numbers go up, that's not going to bode well for demand. So that's the conundrum. What we need is a real vision of how to stimulate growth. And that we haven't seen from the current administration.
Using Intel and McAfee as an example, do you get the sense that companies are going to be buying free cash flow? Because the cash flow at McAfee was very good.
The cash flow at McAfee was very good. They've had over $800 million in cash and generating quite a bit of it. But the real reason that Intel bought that company was for its technology, for its security software, to integrate that into their Atom microprocessor, and to distribute that, put that into set-top boxes that they will sell to cable operators, and to put it into all of their microprocessors over time. So this is a strategic buy to enhance their value stack, if you will.
Paul Hickey, the strategic elements of investing in technology, how closely coupled are those elements to overall growth in the economy? Do people just look at one and then they go and trade the other?
You know, I think if you look at it, I mean, if any sector isn't safe if we're going to go into a double dip. But if we go into a double dip, we're not expecting that. But seconding what Benny was saying is, the technology sector this past quarter, 17% of the technology companies that reported raised guidance this quarter. The next closest sector is just at 10%. So the tech sector companies, as far as their guidance and their outlook, it's positive. So I think there is some cushion there in the technology sector, and it has been badly beat up in the last 2 weeks.
All right. I want to thank you, gentlemen, very much. Paul Hickey, Bespoke Investment Group. Benny Lorenzo, Chairman, Chief Executive of Kaufman Brothers. Thanks for your insight looking at technology. Coming up, oil prices. They're down.